Hello everybody, my name is Damola Joseph. I am the founder of Music Intelligence Agency, an establishment set up to guide young artists in the legal aspect of music business and also music business consultation. I am doing this on behalf of ITAAW, a music distribution company, who thinks fit that I should enlighten you guys on the legal aspect of music business and also how to help you escape pitfalls in the music industry. Many of you don't know, but you need to understand that the music business is a dynamic sector whereby you need to understand the basic and the nitty-gritties of the music business. And this topic today we are discussing is a very integral one, which will help you escape those pitfalls. Now, you may not own your music. That is the topic we'll be discussing today. Essentially, to make you understand that you may not own your music, you need to understand copyright in the music industry. Copyright in the music industry is particularly streamlined for the music business. It's not copyright as you understand generally. Copyright in the music business is segmented into two. That is the masters and the publishing. Many of you might be aware of the masters aspect of the music business and the copyright. Given that most of you want to keep 100% of your masters, keep your master. So I will not go deep down into that. Masters basically is the ultimate product of your recording process, from the lyrics to the melody to the whatnot, and you go into the studio and getting your masters out. So essentially that's the masters. So mostly I'll be dwelling on the publishing aspect because most of you people are unaware of what publishing is and how it operates in the music business. So like I said, spoiler alert, you may not own your music. We are going to delve into publishing aspect of the music business. Now, publishing basically is composition, the underlying musical work that embodies your sound recording, your masters. That is the background creative process, like your lyrics, your arrangements, your rhythm, your melodies, your chord progression and whatnot. That constitutes your publishing. You may be surprised as to how would this young man say that you don't own your music, your publishing? You may have recorded by yourself, you may have written the lyrics by yourself, you may have determined some things by yourself. So like, okay, this person is not making sense. But I will tell you I'm making sense today. Given that there are sometimes in your creative process, you've gotten input from different writers, different friends of yours. Okay, your lyrics, I think that you should add this to your lyrics. This sounds well with your lyrics. Those inputs are deemed as contribution in the music industry, contribution to the lyrics. And anybody that contributes to your music is deemed as a co-writer, and hence he will be deemed as an author of that lyrics, and hence is going to share part of the royalties you derive from your publishing. This is new information to you, understand, and I would help you break this down into tiny bits. Now, understand this. Co-writers equal co-authorship. Co-authorship equals equity split in your royalties. As I earlier stated, anyone who contributes to your lyrics is deemed as a co-writer and an author of that lyrics. Now, author is somebody that simply originally creates something. So the person that dropped in some bars on your lyrics also owns that lyrics and has publishing copyright. Now, you might fight it that you simply that I wrote 3 verses, he just dropped a line. A line constitutes equal royalty payments. So anyone that contributes to your music is deemed as a co-writer and an author of your work. So you might fight it that you wrote 3 verses and the person just wrote 1 line. That is immaterial in this instance. So co-writers are co-owners. It is immaterial whether you both made equal or unequal contributions to the track. You both will own 50% of the publishing copyright if there is no agreement signed by the both parties. So basically, with no agreement, you are sharing 50-50. But with an agreement, you can determine how much percentage you are going to offer to the persons that you are bringing on board to help you contribute to your lyrics. Now, in an event that you've had people in past times, like friends or writer friends that helped you contribute to your tracks, and they're doing it out of sheer generosity, and you knew that you can have them sign a music release form, which gives you total independence in the usage of the track, of the lyrics, and total independence as to the royalty. You have 100% royalties without you splitting with anybody. So that is very crucial. That is an aspect in which you may not own your music. You ought to basically structure yourself legally, have your contract in place if you don't want a future claim of the pie. So that essentially serves as a point. The second point we are going to move on to quickly is those of you that have made a habit of buying beats online. Essentially, you're not buying beats, you are leasing those beats. And it is sad that you don't go through the terms and conditions. You feel like you've had a good purchase, you are getting a beat off for $29, and you definitely feel like, oh, this has made my day. I'm not totally opposed to you purchasing or leasing beats online. That is totally decent in the industry. But what you ought to do is to peruse, is to go through the T&C. Most often than not, you find, if you go through the T&C, you find that the producers or the beat makers, that is where they are going to claim 50% of the publishing copyright. It is stipulated in the contract. So when your songs start doing numbers, when it's streaming and you're having loads of streams on different digital streaming platforms, they will come knocking at your door, wanting to claim their own share of the publishing, and you will be unaware. You will be shocked that, what is this person talking about? I bought this beat. No, you didn't buy it. You leased it. No, you didn't read the terms and conditions, because there you will know that you are selling. You've already sold part of your publishing copyright, 50% essentially. So you need to go through these terms and conditions in detail for you to understand that you have other people sharing a part of your pie. Now, the next point is, which is the third point, is recording studio contributions. Now, usually recording studios shouldn't own copyright in your music because you're paying them for it, and it's simply a service that they are giving to you. So it's a service agreement basically. You need to have that in place, because if you don't have that in place, which states out the timing, the amount you're paying them, and also that you own 100% of the copyright of whatever music that you're producing from there, and simply a work for hire. If you don't have that, you might have an issue in the nearest future. They might come and claim ownership later on because of some little contributions that they make. Now, these contributions, like I said earlier, is going to be deemed as ownership later on. Now, you simply, the studio employees are trying to make some arrangement on your song, telling you that, okay, why don't you put this stanza here, put this here, put this here. It's basically just helping you rearrange your songs. That is contribution, and that is going to be deemed as ownership in publishing copyright. So it is very essential that in the service agreement, you state out clearly that any form of contribution, that any form of studio employees contributing on your track would not entitle them to an ownership claim in your music. So those are very gray areas that people don't really deal with, and it will be very important for you to put those things in check. And also, I've noticed that these days there's a lot of capital investment in the music industry. Young artists are getting investors to fund their music career, and that's perfectly normal. That's fine. In fact, good luck to you. But the issue here is that the investors might later on, when the artist is doing numbers, is performing very well, they might want to come and claim royalties from the proceeds of your song. Why? Because initially you felt like this person is simply trying to help me out with my music, but things change if matters are not written down in black and white. So it's essential that if you have an investor that simply says that I want to help your music and I don't want anything, put that in writing, because if that's not in writing, he who pays for it owns it. So you ought to put all of those things in place. You have to have an investment agreement in place for anybody that is having an investment in your music. Most of the times they just do it out of generosity, but when you are doing numbers, doing good numbers, they come and claim a slice of the pie. And if you don't want that to happen, you need to have that investment agreement in place, stipulating that this investment simply is not going to be recouped. We'll talk more on that later on in other videos. So you have to stipulate that you own 100% in the music, and simply that. Now, you should understand in the music industry that he who pays for it owns it.